So, EVGA definitely went with, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. What's up, boys? Welcome to Jufus 2 Cents. Today we're going to be shilling a whole bunch of EVGA graphics cards. So the first thing I wanted to start this video off with was, this is the OG 3090 here, and this is the 3090 Ti. Now, you wouldn't think it, but these two actually have the same power limit. Well, not this one's 450 watts, but you can flash it with a 520 watt bias. But just by looking at the sheer size of these two graphics cards, which one do you think is going to perform better out of the box, right? The one that can run the GPU cooler. There is also one other major difference that I like a lot. It is the power cables. This one has 3 8-pins. This one has a singular 12-pin. Now, I don't think there's any power supplies that can actually have this coming out yet. There might be, I'm not actually too sure. But when power supplies do come out where they actually have 12-pin NVIDIA connectors on them, that's going to make cable routing so much easier, man. So it doesn't really matter performance-wise, but it's just like a quality of life improvement, right? This video is not to show you guys that this thing is worth buying. In fact, it's to show you guys that it's the exact opposite. For the price you pay for this thing, it is completely worthless. Now, at the time of this recording, you can get a 3080 12 gig straight from EVGA for $9.99, I think it is, before like discount codes and all that. Oh yeah, discount code down below, little bit of shilling. So you can get that for $1,000, or you can get this monstrosity for $2,000. Or maybe you go somewhere in the middle for a 3080 Ti. I think it was $1,350, $1,400. Maybe that's the better option, right? Well, we're going to do some benchmarks today. Before we move on, there's one thing I wanted to talk about with this product cycle review specifically. Apparently, videocards.com leaked where NVIDIA was telling reviewers to review this card against power limited models, to overclock this one, and to not overclock other models that it was competing against, right? So when you actually go to all the large mainstream reviews, that's why they all seem kind of fishy, right? Not only that, but Gamers Nexus, when he did his review, he got the Jacob, the EVGA guy, on the phone, and there were some markings on the graphics card saying that they were binned, right? The For the Win 3s were binned. Well, I believe that reviewers got cherry-picked samples that were binned to make the card seem a lot better than it actually was. So, what we're going to do first, before we get into benchmarks, I'm going to take this thing apart, and we're going to see if there are markings on this one to see if those claims are true from Jacob. All right? So, you can see here, the EVGA sticker is still intact. I haven't cracked this thing open yet, so whatever happens, we're going to find out together. My theory is that this thing performs so close to a 3090/3080 Ti that they actually had to send cherry-picked samples to reviewers so that it doesn't look as bad as, you know, what you'd think it would look. Now, the reason why I say that is, simply put, spec sheets do not lie at all. They never lie. So, when you look at the spec sheet of a 3080 Ti, you have 12 gigabytes of RAM. That means there's a 384-bit bus, right? This also has a 384-bit bus. Secondly, the 3080 Ti has 80 SMs. I don't know what you call those. Shader units, CUs, not even, whatever. They have 80 SMs, okay? Basically, it has 80 cores, okay? Now, this graphics card has 84 cores. Now, for those of you that don't know if that's good or bad, that is basically a nothing burger. Going from 84 to 80 cores is only a 5% difference. So in theory, I mean, I always say this to my audience, spec sheets never lie, man. They never lie. Always look at the spec sheets. So the theoretical maximum difference between these two graphics cards is 5%. Now, where else can we get performance? Okay. So where else can we get performance? We can cool the GPU down more so that it boosts higher. That's what this, oops, that's what this heatsink is all about, right? Why did they invest so much more into the cooling? There's vapor chambers on this thing, single-sided memory, the whole thing. The entire card is designed to boost higher clock speeds, right? Does that mean that you're actually getting a better product though? That's the other thing. Now, look at all these capacitors actually. Okay, check this out. That's another way that you can actually get the card to boost higher. Load the PCB up with capacitors to filter out noise and all that crap. It will be able to sustain a higher clock. So right away, two things that they did. Larger cooler, keep the GPU cool, keep the memory cool, more capacitors. Back in the day, when you went from 1080 to 1080 Ti, that was about 25 to 30% performance improvement. When you went from 2080 to 2080 Ti, that was 25 to 30%. When you went from 3080 to 3080 Ti, maybe 10 to 15%. When you go from 3090 to 3090 Ti, you're gonna see what numbers we get coming up here. This thing is actually a disgrace to the TI moniker. What this really should have been was a 3090 Super refresh for the same MSRP. Or this should have just been the 3090 from the get-go. Oh, just like that. Oh, would you look at that? There are markings on it. Wow, okay, so I guess EVGA were not full of shit. Look at that. What the hell? I did not expect that. Well, I will eat my words to that then. I actually checked out Gamers Nexus's video, and he had a marking on his that said 2040. Mine says 2055. So I actually did get a better bin than he did, surprisingly. And that's going to be important going forward because the clock speeds that I actually got on my 3090 Ti are completely ridiculous. Now, I actually don't believe that EVGA has my address or knows who I am in their store. So I do think that this is legitimate, but there has been some fishy stuff going on there where anything that I've been buying from the EVGA store lately has been incredibly binned. So I'm not sure if they have my address or not. I do have another 3090 Ti coming to me from a different name. I will get back to you guys on that, but the second one that I'm getting, there's no way they could relate that to me. So as of right now, I'm gonna say that these probably are binned then, right? But so how is it that some of these people aren't even hitting 2100 and mine's hitting 2220, right? Something's not adding up there, right? But all right, boys, we're going to blast through these super quick because we have a lot of information to go through. So we did 5 games today. We did Tomb Raider, Horizon Zero Dawn, Final Fantasy 15, Cyberpunk, and Guardians of the Galaxy, with a little bit of Warzone at the end. I checked every single resolution on all 4 of these graphics cards for you guys, and the preset for the game is just the standard built-in benchmark preset. No, nothing special, no trickery, no funny business here. The test bench setup for today is my personal rig. It is a 12900K at 5.3 gigahertz all core and DDR5 7000C32. Basically the fastest gaming rig that you can possibly get to try and show the differences between these GPUs even at 1080p. You're basically going to see the whole way through that the 3080 Ti and the 3090 have the kind of exact identical FPS on all of these games. Now you might be wondering why the 3080 Ti and the 3090 have the exact same FPS while the 3090 Ti kind of pulls away a little bit. Well, remember how I was describing the cooling capacity and the capacitors earlier? I was not using water-cooled 3090 or 3080 Ti. I was using the stock For the Win 3 on all 4 of these. So these are all just out of the box For the Win 3 coolers. If you actually used a water-cooled 3080 Ti or a 3090, then the FPS would be exactly the same. Now, Cyberpunk's a bit different here because I use the highest preset for ray tracing and DLSS is off. So for this one, what I was trying to do was just to see if the ray tracing core difference would actually make a larger gap between these three cards. So after these benchmarks finish up here, I'm actually going to show you a spreadsheet of all the clock speeds of these graphics cards and their power limits. And then you're going to start seeing a nicer painting, like a picture of why that 3090 Ti is actually as fast as it is. Guardians of the Galaxy, I only did 4K for this one because it's just so insanely optimized that we're getting well over 200 FPS in 4K. So the other two results just didn't matter. All right, Warzone is up next. I had to actually change locations when I benchmarked this game because I kept getting killed at the train tracks. I don't even know why that's a hot drop anymore, but I literally could not get enough footage without dying at the train track. So I had to go on the opposite side of the map to wherever the hell this is just to try and get some consistent footage between these four graphics cards. Now, I only did 1440p for Warzone because that seems to be all anyone cares about in this game anymore. So these are the numbers for these four GPUs in 1440p. Now, you'll notice that the three GPUs on the left are all kind of the same for FPS. And why is the 3090 Ti anywhere from 5 to 10% faster than the other ones? Well, you're going to see that coming up in the spreadsheet right after this. What do we know about Warzone? Warzone scales with everything that you throw at it. Everyone always says that Warzone is an unoptimized game. Well, these numbers here actually prove the complete opposite of that. The 3090 Ti by no means should be any faster than the other 2 or 3 graphics cards, but here it's anywhere from 5 to 20 FPS faster. It actually makes no sense at all. Warzone is a very, very well optimized game. And yes, these are 1440p numbers. And yes, 1080p is absolutely insane. Okay, so here's the spreadsheet I was talking about earlier with everything recorded from beginning to end. Feel free to pause the video here, but I'm going to go quickly over it. So at the top here, you'll see the actual clock speeds and power limits that I used for these cards. So you'll see that the first 3 cards here kind of all clocked within that 2100 megahertz range. This is quite typical and normal for a GA102 die. A GA102 is the chip that powers all 4 of these graphics cards, right? Now, if you look over here on the 2 right columns, these are the percentages that the 3090 Ti is faster than the 3080 12 gig here and the 3080 Ti/3090 here, right? So why is it that the 3090 Ti is on average only 4.3% faster? It actually should be 0. Well, let's calculate this for a second. So if you actually look at the clock speeds of my 3090 Ti, it is absolutely ridiculous. I like the odds of you getting a card that can do this clock speed is near impossible. There are people on forums out there that are saying that their 3090 Ti's only clock to about 2100 megahertz, which is the same as these other 3. So this one, that's why I was saying earlier that the results you're going to see are a little skewed and are not what I was kind of expecting. And let's go over the clock speeds here. So on average, on this column over here, the 3090 Ti is 4.3% faster than a 3080 Ti/3090. Now let's tally up the clock speeds. So you take 2220 megahertz divided by 2100 megahertz, and what you get is a 6% clock speed increase, which is, again, this is my specific card. Now let's take the memory bandwidth. You have 23 gigabits per second, 23,000 divided by 22,000 on the other 2 cards. And then what you end up with is a 5% increase in clock speed on the memory. Now let's look at the SM count. You have 84 on the 3090 Ti. You have 82 on the vanilla 3090. Now, what happens when you tally all of these up? You have a 6% clock speed increase, you have a 5% memory speed increase, and you have a 2.5% shader unit increase. All of this equals is 4% faster than a vanilla 3090, which makes perfect sense. The math and the spec sheets never lie. Now, what happens if we take this away and your 3090 Ti only does 2100? Now, what if we take this away and your 3090 Ti only does 2200? And these become 0, 0, and 0. Now, how much FPS are you getting? You see the point I'm making? This becomes 0. It's all about luck. These three cards, from here to here, all three of these cards are pure luck, depending on what you get. Now, EVGA is saying that they've been there for the Win 3s, so I can't disprove that. Actually, in fact, I show evidence to support that. But when I get my next 3090 Ti, then I'll report back on Twitter or something. But as of right now, this is how it sits. So if you already have a 3090 or a 3080 Ti and you're getting above 2145, 2160, if you're already in that kind of ballpark of frequency, this thing will give you maybe 1 to 2% performance increase if you get lucky and you get a good binned one that clocks really high. If you get a dud like some of those other ones on the internet that are only going to 2100, you may even lose performance if you already have a good 3080 Ti or a good 3090. So this card here is just a lottery like anything else. So before we close out this video, just to reiterate the point and take it home, let's do a cost per performance improvement here. So at the time of recording this video, the 3080 12 gigs were in stock, but I guess they're not now. So $9.99 before the discount code. Discount code linked below, boys. So $9.99. I would not get this one. That's a ripoff. This is a ripoff. This is a ripoff. No. You just want the base model. This one, $9.99. This is the deal, right? It's sold out right now. Do not get these ones either, for God's sakes. The XC3, the cooler is so bad, just don't do it. And they're two 8-pins, so you can't even go past like 370 watts. These are complete dog shit. Don't get those. It has to be this one. This one is the only 3080 12 gig that you should be looking at. But let's say it's $1,000. Okay, so we're going to check out the 3080 Ti's here. See, this one you don't go for it because it's an XC3, so you know it only has two 8-pins, right? But let's scroll down here. Yeah, see, this is the deal. $1,300? That's actually cheaper than it was before. This is the deal right here. $1,300 before coupon code. Man, that's do not get this one. No. You pay the extra $20 and you get the For the Win 3. You need the big cooler and you need the triple 8-pin to get the max performance out of it. So $1,300 here for a For the Win 3 3080 Ti. Okay, let's check out 3090s here. Anything in stock? Yeah, see, this is like kind of an obsolete product now. Even though it's 1700, that's almost like MSRP. That actually was the For the Win 3 MSRP. So the shortages are over, boys, completely. But yeah, $1,700 for this. Check this out, right? So 3090 For the Win 3, $1,700. So you can already tell 0% performance increase, right? For these two columns. Sorry, these two columns. You can already tell 0% performance increase in these two columns. So let's go to the 3090 Ti now. Graphics, 3090 Ti. Now I got the black edition one right here. Yeah, this one. $19.99. I mean, my God bin was the cheapest model, so I don't see what the hell. I don't even know what these prices are for. Well, I have zero clue where this $200 is coming from, to be honest. But I got this one, so we'll say $19.99, okay? 3090 Ti black, $2,000. All right, so 16.5 minus 4.3. So the 3080 Ti is 12.2% faster, right? So this is 12.2% faster. That goes for this one too, 12.2% faster. Okay. Now let's see how much more money it costs. Actually, the math is super simple because this one's only $1,000. So this is 12% faster for 30% money. Okay. This one is 12% faster for 70% more money. Okay. And this one is 16.5% faster for 100% money. There you go. So with that being said, the 3080 12 gig is the best deal right now by far for graphics cards. You can get easily 240 FPS in Warzone with this thing. It plays all your games just fine. Now, there is an argument for the 3080 Ti, to be honest. I like 30% more money. Yeah, you know, but you are getting that 12%. You will feel that, is what I'm saying, right? And if you get lucky and you get one that actually does 2200 megahertz, yeah, you're gonna feel that. What if you get one that's 16% faster or 15% faster, right? Like, it's there. Like, you know what I mean? It's there. But these two, this card is actually completely obsolete. No one should ever be buying any 3090s at all anymore. This card is actually worth the $300 premium just to get rid of that rear memory and to have that 12 pin. It's just so convenient. And the cooler is so much better on this one that you don't even need to have a water block. You don't need to have shims, or you don't need to change your memory pad, your memory thermal pads, nothing. So no one should ever be buying a 3090 anymore, ever. Do not get this card. It's either this, or this. Those 4 extra shader units mean absolutely nothing. It's all the clock speed. Anyway, guys, that's it for this one. If you do end up buying one of these things or any of the other cards that I listed here, my EVGA affiliate link will be down below. You get a little bit of discount. I get some money, save up some money for that 4090 release. I guess EVGA will have my address after they check the affiliate code, but yeah, there's no way they could have had it when I got this card, so I think it is legit. Anyway, guys, leave a comment down below what you thought of today's video, and hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Talk to you later.